Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to unboxing Eidolon Age of Heroes. I'm John Caspian, and let's go ahead and open this thing up. Eidolon is on Kickstarter right now. The link is in the description of this video, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Should be in all three. If not, I will add it shortly after I'm done. So let's begin. Eidolon is a cooperative 2 to 5 player card game designed by Landon Deckel. Right there. If I mispronounce that, I'd be very sad. It's a very cool box. On the inside, or sorry, on the back side here, you get a little description of it, and it shows off 30 to 60 minutes and 2 to 5 players. I've actually already opened up the contents of the box simply because I wanted to make sure I fully organized, but the inside is very nice. Bam. Let's go ahead and get started with our cards. First off, the hero cards. I want to tell you a little bit about how they work. There is the first of the heroes. There are a total of 8 heroes, and each hero has 7 cards that they have. Let me find hers here real quick. I just had it. There we go. There's the hero cards. I'll put those side by side for you to see. So you have the hero artwork as well as their class type, which gives you a reroll when you have certain skills for that type of card. And then you also have their abilities or stat line on the bottom here. So you have your magic resist, your armor, your might, your insight, and your agility. So basically those correspond with different things. So as you can see here, you have these stats, which says if you suffer a fatigue, which we'll talk about in how to play video later on, then it deals +3 damage. It's also a provoking type attack, which we'll talk about in just a second for the greater monsters. So then there are 7 of those. And they have different ability types and these things called linking, which is where you have 3 rounds of combat. You have a starter, which would be something like initiator, bam. And then you have a bridge, which would be here. So then you see that this has a link type of purple. And then this one has a type of purple, so then you gain a +1 to your roll. So instead of having to roll a 4+, you'd actually only have to roll a 3+ on your d6. So there's nice ability, ability stuff there. I'm trying to think of the exact word, but linking, it's very nice. Chaining and linking. So then that is the first hero. Let's show off all of the heroes. We've got Vesperi, the druid. There we go. Make sure it's lined up properly. Bam. Next we have Belisa, the Shardling. Very cool. The artwork on this is great. It's fantastic. Next, Raquin, the Templar. And then we have Magnus, the Prowler. That dude's one of my favorite ones. I always like the drow kind of look. So it's really cool to see that. And next we have Ulfrin, the Dread Knight, who is a werewolf type creature. Super neat looking. And then Julma, the Shaman or Shaman. Depends on how you want to pronounce that one. Kind of an orc type character. And then finally, Durgoth, the Redeemer. And those are your 8 heroes that you have inside there. And again, there's 56 hero skill cards. And then there's 2 ways that you can use your skill cards in the game. Number 1 is you have your quick pick. So you see here in the corner, you have your heroes, in this case, Julma's icon. So you could take all of his or hers hero cards. Bam. You'd have 7. You pick that character, you pick those cards, you're done. Alternatively, you can pick from a draft type system, and then what you would do basically is you have a set of cards, and each person picks 1 from a set, passes it on, picks 1 from a set, until everyone has 7 cards. And the cool thing about the draft system is that, you have your class type abilities, but you might want to do stuff that's very different, different links and different types of cards that can work really well. So that is your heroes and your hero skill cards. The thing that you would do after that is you want to use certain tokens, and these mean different things. There's disorient, there's immobilize, there's mortal wounds, etc. There's fatigue. So then you have your daze effects. This is a mortal wound right here. So this red heart basically means if you take too many mortal wounds, your character is out of the match. Immobilize It's harder to use skills and stuff like that. All etc. So fatigue is something you basically have to get rid of a card from your hand. So it can be very devastating when you start off with 7 and then you start taking these tokens. So then here are the greater monsters. Here you have the elemental matriarch. This one's one of my favorite artworks of the greater monsters. Look at her. Huge. Absolutely massive. If you look at the scale, there's a little horse dude right there. Tiny little horse guy. That's the elemental matriarch. Huge creature. Here's the storm behemoth. So what you have here in the are the levels. So you have your heroic, which is your starting level if you do a campaign of 3 matches. Then you have epic scale, and then you have your legendary. And these are the different effects that you have, which I'll explain in the how to play video more. Abyssal Drake. This one's a really cool artwork here. That is awesome looking. So cool. Next, you have the Hydra. Second to last, you have the Kraken. Look at that, dude. Not messing around. You better take your magical underwater breathing potions. And finally, the Pit Fiend. So you have all those different greater monsters, and each one brings along with it lesser monsters. So let's go through some of these and show you those. We have the Imberling right here. There we go. And then they target different characters, and you get initiative. So then this would be targets players 2 and 4. And you have these initiative tokens, which are right here. And so what you do at the beginning of a round is you have these upside down, you shuffle them up, and then each player will take a initiative token, and now I would be considered player 1 for the round, and then the other player would be considered player 2. So then this creature would attack player 2 with its attack. The Twilight Ifrit. This dude looks amazing. If you look at this artwork blown up, it is absolutely incredible. It's very cool to see in person. Obviously on camera it's not quite the same. Siren there. The Siren attacks all 5 players, up to 5. The Devouring Frenzy from the Spite Swarm. Very cool. Tideling. Yep. Shadeling. This dude looks like an undead necromancer. Pretty sweet. Like these would actually be your like kind of demi-bosses. They would not be a standard like skeleton boy. Hellhound. Craw. I can't see that upside down. Ah, Cravo Hound. Cravo Hound. Very cool. And then finally Will-O-Wisp. That one looks cool. That's the kind of thing, these things I bet you would swarm. Dazzle, there you go. Very cool. And then each of the greater monsters comes with their abilities. So you have the entire list here, and each greater monster comes with, I believe, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 6 different cards. And what you do during each round of combat is, let's say this one is the Hydra. Let's go ahead and put this one down. You would have your abilities here shuffled, and then at the beginning of the round, you see what they're going to do at the end of the round. So you can strategize what they're going to be attacking. So their normal attack might hit all 5 players. But here, you have your provoked. So one skill card that the heroes can have is called a provoke card. And then you can cause them to actually provoke and usually deal with 1 player at a time, who's usually the tank player. So that way you can prevent all 5 players from getting hit with high damage. So that happens at the beginning of the round. You kind of play out, and then that attack will happen from the greater monster at the end. Bam. So again, there's 6 of those different ones. They get shuffled up, and it can be pretty brutal. And then at the beginning of the round also, let's say here at the beginning, you have your heroic, and he summons the Twilight Ifrit and the Hellhound. So at the beginning of the round, they would summon those 2 creatures, and then you have to fight those creatures in addition to the greater monster. So then you have that one, and then Twilight Ifrit. Bam. So now you're dealing with not just 1 main boss, but then 2 smaller dudes. And they're not like super easy peasy monsters either. They're pretty rough. You also have your dice that come in the box. Now you can put these on your character card to track your health. So let's say you have 7 here and 3 here. You know, some players can have the red and purple, other players might want to have green and blue. I always recommend either keeping both dice on here at all times, or you go ahead and have different colors to make sure that you have your health on one side and magic resist on the other. You regenerate those at the end of the round. You can also get bonuses from skill cards, and they can never go above 10. So this 0 would represent 10. If you have 0 left, you would get a mortal wound, and then you would take that die away. So you can have up to 10 of those. You get your 2d6, and then your d6 is what you use for your attacks and skill checks. So if you have your character card here, Magic Missile, it says it's an initiator, and then it gains +2 to the skill check when it gets used as the initiator. So then I would actually have it go off instead of a 4+, it would become a 2+ to go off. So that would be my bonus. Then the next card that I would play could be a purple one. And if I played that purple one, not the right character, but you get the point. If I played a purple one here, this one is a 4+, but because I linked it with a purple, it now becomes a 3+. Bam. There you go. So that is everything that's inside the box. Let me get you everything pulled out here, just so you can see how much is in here. There's 136 cards. Whole bunch. I can't even put it all here on. If I laid it all out. Oh my gosh, still more. Plenty more. Woo! So much. And the rulebook. Can't forget that. Rulebook is also available online. Man. There's all the cards and the rulebook here, which you'll get available online as well. And that is the contents of Aydolon Age of Heroes. If you back us now, we also have a local shipping option or local pickup option if you are local to the Atlanta area. You want to come by Gigabytes Cafe, you can pick that up after the Kickstarter has ended and we deliver all of the items. If you're a retailer, you can back us with a retailer pledge. And then if you're someone who lives somewhere else, go ahead and do that. There will be a shipping cost, and then we will make sure we get that to you. The cool thing about it is you get these very shortly after the Kickstarter is ended, so you don't have to wait months and years to get the game. It's going to be awesome. Cool. Let me play the Kickstarter video again for you as I head out, and we'll be back later on tomorrow for how to play so that you can learn the rules. Bye, everybody.
Aydolon is a cooperative multiplayer game for 2 to 5 players, where heroes battle beasts for loot and glory. In Aydolon, your goal is to defeat great monsters and their lackeys in increasingly dangerous encounters. You must assemble your heroes and decks to stop your foes. Rounds are played in quick succession, and heroes and monsters clash until one side is left standing. You will win if you damage the greater monster enough, but suffer too many wounds and you will be defeated. In order to face your enemies, you will need to make full use of your hero's skill cards. Every hero has a stat bar along the bottom of their card. Agility, insight, might, armor, and magic resist, which correspond to effects on the cards. In the campaign mode, you will pick up items and ancient artifacts after each victory to aid you in upcoming encounters. Back Aydolon now and read the rulebook online to familiarize yourself with the rules. Aydolon, Age of Heroes.